I can't believe this one. Just plucked this out. Just from sitting there. This bloody horseshoe on the front lawn. God blimey. I reckon this horse is walking around just trying to kick him off all the time. There's that many blasted horseshoes around here. Which is nice to find it, and you think, oh, it's amazing, I've found a horseshoe, and then I find another one, and then another one, and then another one, and at the end of the day it's like, oh well, there's just heaps here, isn't there? It's not that special after all, but I don't throw any in scrap metal. Well, I have thrown some real rusty ones in, and ones that are only half of it left or whatever, into scrap metal, but sort of keeping these temporarily for the whole Etsy thing. I've got a fair stash. I think I told you guys about that time I found whatever it was, 4 in 2 days or whatever it was. There's another bunch of them in there. There's one sitting in there. Yeah. Got weird noises. There he goes again. Some sort of a bird, sounds like a bloody vulture. Could hear it. What was that here somewhere? That sounds like it's flying down the gully, down the valley, or off to the neighbours. I don't know. Anyway, I got a fair bit done today. And I probably won't be leaving quite as early as I usually do. I've got to go into town tomorrow. And as a result, I should be able to get to show you guys what I've done, but was good. Definitely an effort. There's some things you'll see it's done and you'll think, how in the bloody hell was that even possible? And it was one of those days. A bit like the day putting entire sheets of plywood on the ceiling single-handed. It was one of those things where you sort of look at and go, how did I do that? And today was one of those days involving moving IBCs to a near impossible place. Well, we've broken a rib. Little black kitty has. You'll see it come out in a second. His little tail on there. Whoa, get him, black kitty. Don't let him get away. See? You mustn't have broken the rib properly there, bud. I was almost going to stamp on the damn thing before, but just to stop it running around, but then she gets disappointed and goes all meow, 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 because you've broken a toy. Kitties don't like you breaking their toys. I only like it when there's a few ribs broken because they slow right up. And then she starts all this bizarre crap like licking them and stuff like that. Just another day at the office. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, this is a chocolate mint, seed heads on it and stuff. A lot of them are sort of gone already, so I think they may have actually dropped the seeds because they're sort of getting a bit black. Yeah, kind of very shadowy and a lot of mesh, so you can't really see it that well, but some of them still got seeds coming up. I should give it another water. What I was going to say was, actually got myself, I haven't seen the seeds, they're probably fine as fine, but got myself a packet of mint, and it turns out it's peppermint seeds, so
I've considered getting the grey water outlet that I've got for the laundry, and maybe fencing that area off a little bit just to grow another mint patch. But really what it's for is for that other IBC half at the back, because I was going to try and get the seeds of the other ones and stick it in there, and oh gee, I don't know what the seeds even look like, and they might be like flipping flower seeds that are that fine you can't see them. Anyway, this is some of the other crap I've been bringing up. This is the stuff I sliced all up with a chainsaw that I was saying about. So it's good to just split up for kindling. It's actually thicker than that other gear there, but yeah. One pack's almost completely rotten, and that's some of the bits that are right. It's all your, that's all mould. So anyway, if we wander around the corner, you might notice a bit of a difference from a distance. And then I'll just pause all this and take you down to where the real dealio's happening. The magpies are sitting there. There's a big shortage of IBCs. And I got the little hand trolley and carted them down past that one there, of which there only is one there now. I tell you what, they're yeah. Your hand trolley wheels are probably about, I don't know, not much more than a foot apart, 14 inches or something like that. And you got this thing that's holy smoke, it's 1.2 metres wide. And of course, you've heard of the concept top heavy. Well, it becomes a bit side heavy, and you're battling to keep the wheels from rocking either one way or the other. Anyway, I'll just pause this and show you what I've done. Let me get to the edge here. And I have mowed down here. Now honestly, these IBCs, because of the angle of the ground, you get them with a trolley to about here. And that'd be it, like you'd just about be getting pushed flat on your arse. It just about was getting away. So I'd sort of reverse the whole way, because it's the only way you could see little rocks and that. As I was coming down here, there's that IBC again. And that's the one that feeds the last three remaining grapevine. And you sort of need to go in reverse so you can see any little rocks here, because I mean, you hit a rock and it's a bloody inch tall and just about tips the whole frigging thing on the side. Like it's just pathetic trying to move it. You can move it, but they're made to be moved with forklifts, not with frigging hand trolleys. And it's doable, you know. It is doable, and it's me making a go of very limited means. But it means that you got to walk along and kick all little rocks out of the way. But then there's still some big ones embedded in the ground that you can't get rid of. And yeah, the pressure starts to come on as you get to about here, so you got to drop it, and then you got to sort of drag it another 3 meters until you get to about here, and then you just have not a problem really dragging it, because we start to hit quite a steep angle, and at the very last bit it goes just straight down and it actually starts pushing you. Anyway, mowed all that area out there. Had to mow this because I thought I was going to come down here with a trolley and I wouldn't have been able to get over the trolley with all the grass humps, but it sort of made it good because it obviously smoothed the ground out by mowing all the humps of grass off, but it left a lot of cut dry grass and it sort of slides nicely on that. I'm not saying it doesn't take a little bit of effort, but what really takes the effort is keeping these things stable when you've got them on a hand trolley from falling off one side or the other. And yeah, it gives you sore thumbs trying to put most of your hand around the thing, and then you thumb around the part of the steel caging for those, and yeah, your thumb ends up going numb. But anyway, we got them all down there, and I don't think there's any way in hell we're going to ever get them back up again. And I was shocked I did actually get them down there, because it's a bloody mammoth effort with these things rocking side to side, you know, on a hand trolley. Once I got to the base there, I then got them on the hand trolley again and moved them along. And you had to be careful, because there's a bit of a slope on that. It's not too bad a slope, it's the flattest point of all this whole hill shenanigan. Strange how we just got this magical flat space you could damn near land a helicopter on, in amongst, you know. So I'm making use of it. Because in this I've killed two birds with one stone. If I wanted water to flow from the house to that IBC up there that you can barely see behind all this crap, what would happen is I'd have to have the pipe at a higher point than the top of the IBC, because the water has to go down in the pipe and then across and then out at the IBC, and the water level will stay in the line the whole time at whatever the height it is at the highest point as it goes into the IBC. And that's sort of, you know, no good, because when you go to wrap it up, you lose 3/4 of an inch diameter by 100 metres worth of water. Plus, you got to actually wait for enough rainwater to fill that up before it even starts to fill the IBC. But when you've got it below, it's just going to keep flowing. And there will be some little bits, humps in the ground where it'll build up and sit in the line. But when you go to a point that is, holy smoke, probably 6 metres below the house guttering, at least, it's just going to primarily continue to flow in the line the whole time. And then we've still got to drop off of the hill and go another probably 6-7 metres down, which will then give us a bit of water pressure in the process, because with that IBC there down to there, that's actually, surprising enough, a case that it works as well as it does. With the ones that you know, got that big steel box with the IBC sitting on it near where the trees are, out near me big water tank. I put an 80-metre half-inch garden hose on that. And it was coming out the end, but it was pissing very slowly. And this effectively is the same thing, except it's low-density polyethylene line that I was talking about. And just go and have a look at it here. And then it changes back to garden hose, and it seems it's actually got a slight amount of pressure. It pours out, but there's a point where as you turn it off, you do have a little bit of pressure. That's a little line there. Difference between, I don't know if I already mentioned this, but you've got your stuff with your blue stripes as your mains, your stuff with your green stripes as your agricultural stuff, your stuff to run sprinklers, do water pumping, and this is low pole. I think that's saying it's LDPE, 13mm internal diameter polyethylene. Yeah. With your blue line mains pressure and your green line pumping / irrigation sprinkler pressure, agriculture stuff, you need particular fittings. With this low density stuff, all you need to do when we get to it is use a nut and tail and a hose clamp, or as they do in the vineyards, these shitty little clips, and you squeeze that together with a set of pliers, and you release it by basically grabbing hold of it, and you push this that way, and you know, one way and one the other, and it releases it, and it'll spring back open, and then you can put it over another one
and then you just grab hold of it and push it in again. It goes click, 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 a bit like a zip tie because there's all little teeth in there. And that's all you need. None of these real 5 pieces and tighten like hell and push like hell to even get it to fit initially style large thick-walled polyethylene pipe. So yeah, of course got my little tap there in case there's a leak in the line or whatever. This is another beautiful thing, is these. It's like a bit of all thread, and you've got, I don't know if one end's fixed or not, but at least your outer side you can tighten. And this actually come off a tank that had a strange rubber that was designed to go onto corrugated iron tanks. And so we just got a bit of old tie tube and cut in a flat one. And I bought another one with a flat piece. It's a 1/2 inch, which is on the other IBC for the trees. But yeah, it's they're great little connections because they turn it from a little IBC that can't do much with, or you have to get the right IBC tap fittings, into a normal tank. And that lame thing makes so much difference in increasing the usability of IBCs. Alrighty, soon helping get this hydraulic ram apart. 2 3/4 inch wheel bearing socket, if you can call it a socket. It's like a bloody bit of steel tube that's just banged into place, not an actual cast socket. He tried to get it off and just bent the damn square connector for the socket, and then ended up welding the socket to a big hunk of shit and couldn't get it off himself. And I come over and gave him a bit of a hand as well, and pop, she just popped off. And then we got all the other seals and bits and pieces of, by hell, it's big stuff, you know. You've got a shaft that's that big, and then there's seals and stuff, and some of these things, you know, they're coming out, say from the edge of this to about that wide. That's your end piece that screws in, that actually faces the outside world, that's painted, and you've got multiple layers of seals and, you know, sort of like bushes to hold the seals and all this crap. But anyway, we got that done. Don't like this. This is stalking up a bit too tall. That's one of my spinach that was already very tall, and I stuck it in there. And the others coming up quickly. Yeah, these are the ones that have survived, or I don't think that one's going to make a go at it. Some of these ones look as though they're going to. That sort of one side's dead. This one's twisted, but I reckon it's ready to stick a third leaf underneath it within a week or so. So if that'll hold out long enough, it should make it. Spinach that's half bitten off. That's probably going to make it. So is that. That definitely will make it. Yeah. Somebody mentioned turning this into a hothouse, and it's not a flaming stupid idea. It's a very good idea that I had sort of thought of ages ago, but not quite, not for a long time, which is a reason why a lot of this here is all Laminex, because, you know, it's essentially kind of waterproof. That bit's ply, I will admit. The rest of that's all Laminex. And I had plenty of it, and I thought, well, I'll do that and seal it all up with gap sealant, because it's a bit waterproof and I could have plants in here. And they're too right, you know, like, I thought of that ages ago, but then I sort of forgot it, and then I started looking again, and I thought, well, all the bugs are pretty much kept out by this. Now, sure, I've got a gap there, gap there, gap under there. These are nothing I couldn't plug up with expansion foam, or better still, mosquito net, or even just fly screen. You know, that's got a little bit of a crack in it there. But generally speaking, there's a big hole there. But generally speaking, you know, all you'd need to do is put a bit of mosquito net over here, and most of it will be sealed in. And the pure fact that you've got these, and even if I had a couple of marigolds, which are very good in pots, which I can buy seeds for. I think I can buy little punnet ones for like $5 a plant, but
whatever, or even mint plants, and that's likely what's going to happen because I've got a bunch of mint seeds. And the smell of that kind of thing, mint, marigold, lavender, thyme, all these other ones, will actually be so overpowering that they won't smell the broccoli, Siberian, or if you want to call it Russian kale, as they generally call it in the States, and spinach. They can't even smell it behind all these stinky herbs, so to speak. You got to remember that while we love the smell of these herbs, they love going for other stuff. And if they can't smell that other stuff due to the great amount of smell let off by the herbs, well, they're not going to know it's in there. Anyway, that's one thing I don't really like, is stalking up like that. And I know that if you have it too frosted, it can stalk up. Not saying that this is frosted though, it's just dirty. But basically, long story short, if they're in full sun, they won't really stalk like that, which has sort of surprised me why it has. And I know that during the heat of summer, they'll put it in frosted stuff like that. Where I worked at Boomerang Nurseries, they used to have this stuff. It was like some sort of friggin' starchy shit. It looked to me like it was bloody flour, to be honest. I think, actually, come to think of it, I think it may have been based on plaster, like plaster of Paris, calcium carbonate, and they'd spray it all over the glass houses to sort of allow the light in but sort of shade it, and it'd all come out looking like that. But, so it doesn't really rain much in the summer here. But then when it did rain enough times, it'd wash it all off, which would be in autumn when the sun was starting to go overcast. And it's sort of almost like you put it on and then it works itself out by literally getting washed off with the rain at a later point. And, yeah, in effect, this could be a damn good spot to use as a hothouse. And, you know, all the same, I'll still have a go at trying to get that finished, or at least a roof on it, and we'll see how we go anyway, because I'm trying to start looking for jobs more often now, and almost ready to fence the stuff right down the end there, and I'm going to probably dig out those holes the last little bit today and trying to put some guttering on here today. And in all of this, I'm trying to get all the water situation sort of worked out initially before I sort of continue with that. I still hope to get that done. We'll see how it all goes. And then during the winter, you know, I'll be using the Seahawk heated mat, and as we get near to the end of winter, I'll be trying to grow spring things, or, you know, tomatoes or whatever in the heated hothouse. Hopefully by then I've got the whole wood stove rig sorted for that, but yeah, that sort of hasn't progressed as fast as I had a hope. But all the same, it's not a terribly stupid idea to almost use our pre-made one in here, and if we have enough light levels, well, I can still run the Seahawk to at least germinate little things, you know, things in little propagation trays like that. I don't know if it'd be even worth trying to heat this area with wood heating. It may be really pulling it, but having said that, there's nothing that couldn't stop you from running a line from like a 4-inch pipe from in there out to here, and you could probably damn near do it underneath the floor too, but yeah, might be sort of doing a lot of stuff for something that's only temporary, you know what I'm saying? And anyway, it's a bit of a thought worth thinking, and definitely a good idea that I had a long time ago and forgotten about, and somebody else has re-brought it back to the forefront and got me thinking about it all again, because it's yeah, maybe viable.